Hi friends, this is Vali with Vali Art, and today I'm here with you to share how I draw my faces. Many of you have asked how I come about with the different faces in my journal, and I decided that I'm gonna draw a small one so that you have an idea. I have not learned how to draw anywhere. I'm self-taught, so I don't have any kinds of technique or any expensive products. I just like to draw some of my ephemera to work in the journals. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you what I'm using on my desk to create this girl that we're gonna do together. First of all, I have some wildflowers from my garden. I always like to have something that will help me with inspiration. Usually it's flowers, sometimes candles, or a pictures, something that is gonna put me in a good mood. Second, I don't draw in a forced way. All my girls pop up in my mind at some point. It's not that I sit here with a white or a blank page and I start drawing and they come out just like that. No, sometimes my girls may be triggered by a character of a book that I'm reading, or something that happened to me in the past or in the present, but I never sit down with no idea of what I will be creating. I think I would be all over the place if I would do that. I never write or draw just because. It has to be something that comes from the inside. So, to draw a face, you don't need many things. I have here a watercolor paper. I have created some of my girls with gesso. I prepare the page with gesso and I paint them on top of the gesso. But lately I have been switching to the watercolor paper. I draw them there and then I cut them and I apply them on top of the background that I have created. I find, of course, you know, if you're going to work with watercolors, the appropriate paper is the best material. So you're going to need an eraser, some pencils. These ones here, they are the graphite pencils, and I bought them at the dollar store. Probably not the best quality, but it serves the purpose. I'm not, you know, a professional, so you have different measures in here, and I tend to use the H letter because it's the one in the middle, and for me it's the easiest to erase if I have to. So then you're gonna need some water for the watercolor and some brushes. These brushes are two different sets from Walmart. And today, just for the purpose of keeping it simple, I'm gonna try to accomplish the girl with only one color. These are the Elegant Writer. They are markers that you can buy in a set or separately, and they are like watercolors. They activate with water. So today the concentration is not basically on the painting, which I also am self-taught and still a lot to learn, but on how to proceed with the face. So I'm gonna try to accomplish everything with one color, which is gonna be the black one. So with that being said, this is a tiny paper. Usually when I'm working with my girls, I use a whole page in there, and then I center them according to how I want the face. So the easiest face to paint is one that is looking at the front. So if we're gonna do that, and I have the recorder in front of me, so it's a little bit distracting, but I'm gonna try my best. So I always start, let's say if our painting is gonna be this size, I create an oval. I know it's, for some people it doesn't come natural. Sometimes it doesn't come natural to me either, depending on the day. But after you try, it's like handwriting. You can achieve more or less of what you're looking for. So we start with an oval. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because then we're gonna create a shape. But that's the basic shape in there. So once we have the oval, we're gonna just create a line in the middle here, and a line more or less in the middle here. I don't measure anything, I do it by eye. So then on the down part, you're gonna divide it in half again, and that's for the nose. And this part here, you're gonna divide it again in half, and that's gonna be for the mouth. You can alter this according to the features that you're going to be creating, but mainly this is how you work it. Usually when I'm doing mine, my lines, I don't, I don't press the pencil so much, so that then I can erase them easier. But just for the purpose of the video, I just left them like this. The watercolor paper is difficult to be erasing a lot of times, so you have to really be very purposeful purposeful when you do it. So after that, what I do is I always like to create the eyes. And the eyes, the easiest one when you start with, I guess, is the ones that they have an almond shape. Then, as you keep on drawing, you can experiment with different shapes in the eyes, which for me, the eyes is what is gonna set the whole tone of the face. If you make a mistake in the eyes, that's it, it's ruined. Because it gives the expression, the light. So that's what you have to be more careful with. So to start with, you can do an almond shape, and in between each eyes, there has to be another eye here of space. I never measure that, but more or less I eyeball it. But let's say we want to do an almond shape. And then you look at them to see if more or less they are similar. It's not always be perfect, but more or less I try to make sure that they have a similar shape. So once I have the eyes, we can go to any other part of the face, and we can start with the nose. The nose for me is the most difficult one to achieve. It's not easy, and I try not to be playing around too much with it. Once I have achieved the nose, a nose that I like, that's it. I don't touch it anymore because it is a little bit difficult for me. As in everything, you know, you're gonna find that there are some things that are easier, that come more natural. And then here we have the mouth. And the trick with the mouth, an easy one to make, is like you take this as the parting line of the mouth, and then I do the line taking into account this line, and that's when you shape it, if it's going to be smiley girl or not. So then from here you draw like an M, and we can always go back and correct that. And right here it's like another M, but and there it goes. This is a more pronounced M, and this one is more like rounded M. And there's different type of mouth. I'm just showing you what's the easiest. So now that I have that, I'm gonna delete I could go ahead and delete everything, all the lines in there, but I always like to do that once I have the inside of the eyes completed, so I can take a look at how it's gonna look like. So the center of the eye is always round. Some people use a coin, or those rulers that they have circles. Me is just by hand. So I don't like it. It's smaller than the other. So we're gonna make it work a little bit better. Okay, so there we go. And we have the round portion of the eyes. The trick is it's never round in the eyelid. The circle is never completed, and in here it usually never touches this part here, this line here. So in the center we're gonna do the other circle, and this one then we're going to put some light in there. So now that I am kind of happy with how the features turned out, I'm going to go ahead and delete the lines. And I'm going to start, this eye is bigger, so I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start working on the lines, the side lines. So like in here, I like it to be more straight, not so rounded. Whoops. And that's where the eyes are. We're not concerned about that yet. So like right in here, we're gonna start to curve it a little bit, and we're gonna try to create a more pronounced chin. Okay, so now that we have, and we can go and retouch it if we need to, but now that we have this part of the face done, we have to decide on her hairdo. And this part is gonna be the hair. So I always like to look for the parting line, and probably I can do it here, and that is going to be there. And once I have that, we can figure out the hairstyle that she's going to have. But I'm going to add the neck. So the neck, since it's whimsical, it's going to be thinner than a regular neck. And there we have it. It's always, I like to center the chin in it. And now that we have the neck, I can see better where I want to go with the hair. So probably for the upper part, you always have to exceed the oval that we made, so we give the volume. So now we can delete the oval, and we can trace the hair. The hair is not going to be it will not have any special effect, just to make it simple. And so now we're more or less done with this, with the face, and we're gonna take the elegant marker. Those markers here are really nice because they are one color but they have an undertone. I said that in many other videos. So like this black one, it will have, I think, like a blue undertone, so you're gonna be able to see that. So we're gonna go ahead and mark her hair. And probably from these markers, the blue one and the brown ones are the ones that I like the most because of their undertone. And as you can see, it's not difficult to draw the face. It looks more difficult than what it is. And then the rest, although you can do a complicated one that it may take several hours, like the ones that I make for my journal, the faces are super easy to draw. This I'm sorry, this here it has like a cut end, so you have to learn to work with them. Okay, so this here, we're gonna try to do it smooth, and then we're gonna create the shape of the nose with the painting. So I usually kind of internally guess what brushes I need to use. So I know probably there's a technique for it, but I don't follow that. So in here, I like to create some lines, and you will see why. So that we can activate those lines with water. So this is where the fun part starts. So if you take a look, this is how this activates, and you can see that it has a purple undertone. Not purple, sorry, like a bluish greenish undertone. So the only thing is, once you activate them, you cannot activate them again. So with one marker and a couple of lines, we can make the hair work. And you can create different shading. And you follow the way the hair goes, and you grab, if you need more colors or shading, from the lines that we have created. And then probably, as you had seen, once I finish my ladies, I go ahead and I write their stories. Many people ask me how I get inspired to write them, or how I come out with the stories. So some of the girls that I'm painting, they tell me a story that maybe has nothing to do with me, so I just go ahead and write about that. And then some others, they bring me memories from when I was a child, so I just go ahead and write about that. I find that it's very nice because I can combine my writing skills and drawing, so that's something that I really like. So now if I want to create some shading, I'm gonna pull and add more water and pull from that line. And I can create more like a darker shading. And it doesn't matter, you know, if it goes out of the line a little bit when you are pulling. So you are activating the line in there. So kind of in the border you have more a darker color, you see. And the marker is black, but it has like a greenish, even a pinkish tone. It's really beautiful. So now you can start pulling again from those lines here. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull from these lines. You can be turning the page as much as you want. And then we're gonna decide from where the light comes from to create the shading of the face. And this side is already a little bit darker than this, so I want to decide that the light is coming from there. So for the shading of the face, this side is gonna be darker. So we're gonna start pulling from that line again. And of course, you know, it's gonna turn darker because we're working with a darker marker. But if not, you know, you use the same technique with any other color that you are using. So this is the side of the face that is gonna be darker. You always have to have a concept of, or give a place of where the light is gonna come from. So we do not forget the neck. And we're gonna create just a tiny shadow or shade on this side. And then with a lot of water, we're gonna be filling in. Same here. And I'm gonna just go ahead and forming the nose bridge just a little bit. So look at all that bleeding. It's giving some character to the whole thing. So now we're gonna start pulling ink for the mouth, and we can start reaching for the empty spaces. So I created a little bit of a shadow there for the bridge of the nose, and then I'm gonna go ahead and create some shadowing under the eye. So the face is more or less accomplished, and then it is still wet, but once this is dry, and this is with a lot of character, you know. Of course, when you create it with different colors, the result is completely different. Maybe, you know, it's too dark for your taste. So here we're gonna create the eyeballs. So there we go, and let me try this here. Okay, so what we can do is we can go ahead and just frame the face um, with a marker all around the face. This one doesn't need it, but you can go ahead and just remark everything with black marker, and then you can start creating some lightning. So I always like to create some lightning in the eye here. If it is a bigger picture, I always create it in the iris, and then some in the bridge of the nose, and maybe there. And what we will do is let me try with this marker. So we have to create the eyelid, which it goes over the eye. So this is having more and more shape. And then for the eyelashes, you can do the whole eye. I always do from the half to the outside, so it works like the brackets. So I do it like this, looking facing this side, and then like this, and then I start making them fuller. I add smaller hairs there, and of course you can do as you want. Here we go with some more on this side, and down there, and then I add some little hair in between. If you would decide to do the full eye, once you reach to the middle of the eye, you would have to flip to the other side. So they are like brackets that open and close. So they open up to the half of the eye and close on the other half. So this one in particular has the eyeline really marked by the elegant writer, but if not, I would create a thick eyelid, and then it's time for the eyebrows. And the eyebrows, there are different types. In this case, it's going to be almost, or they're going to be almost hidden under the hair. So I know it's kind of a dark character. Like if you can go and correct if you see any white spot. You can, if you want, you can go and correct that. Like here you can pull a little bit more from that. But basically this is how you paint a face and how to draw a face. Mainly, you know, I'm not so concerned about the painting, but more focused today on how to draw it. It's a very simple technique. There's other more complicated, like if you want to do a full profile or half profile, it's a little bit different, and a little bit more complicated, but not impossible to achieve. This one is the easiest. I think this would be a nice girl to use in any project. Probably someone sees it and they say, oh, that's not nice, but you can also, if you don't want to leave it like so wide, you can pull it a little bit from here and just give some tone to the eye, because the eyes are never white in there, so we can create a little bit of shading and it looks better. So I hope you have enjoyed working or just taking a look on how to work these girls. The only thing that I didn't do here was to create the shape with a marker around her, because it wasn't necessary. Of course, you know, if you're working with lighter colors, you may have to go back and recreate the shape. But if not, this is kind of a set project. Let me bring it closer so that you can see how it looks. As it is drying, you can see that some pink is starting to pop up. This is completely wet, but as soon as it starts finishing, you're gonna start seeing all the pink in there, and I'm gonna take a picture of it and just pop it in there so that you can see how it looks when it's dry. Another thing is, probably I'm gonna make the pupil bigger, because this one is a little bit bigger. And yes, I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, just like it, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them as much as I can. Again, I am self-taught, so I don't have much technique, but I use what I create as ephemera for my projects. So I basically create for myself, for my enjoyment, and then for the people that take a look at it and like it. So hope you try, that you are successful in your own way. And again, if you have any questions, you can always put them in the comments. Bye.